Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the 2026 Dodge Charger lineup, specifically the new Daytona Scat Pack for 2026. There are some big changes coming for Scat Pack, and we're going to get into that in a few minutes, but I want to kind of do a revamp of what's been going on so far that we know for the 2026 model year. So we're getting ready to start the launch of the 2026 model year here at the end of the month in Windsor. Okay, it sounds like it's going to go through even with the tariffs and stuff. They're going to start building Charger Daytonas and Charger SIXPACK for the 2026 model year. The first thing that we found out back in May 4th was originally Dodge had told us, hey, we're going to build 2 internal combustion cars for 2026. They were going to be a 6-pack, is what they're calling the new twin-turbo 3-liter Hurricane inline 6 in the Charger, but there was going to be a 6-pack standard output 4-door and a 6-pack high output 2-door, and that was it. So if you wanted the high output motor in a 4-door configuration, you're going to have to wait. That was just what Dodge had been planning and whatnot. But the very interesting thing was, back in the early May, some information leaked online. And Butter the Insider was actually the one who kind of pointed it out to me. And then when he pointed it out, it must have been leaked online because I actually got like 5 people messaging me the same screenshot. And the very interesting thing was I could tell they were all the same because of this stain here on the screen. Somebody didn't clean their screen off good enough. But what it did was it was a screenshot of Dealer Connect. And if you're not familiar with what Dealer Connect is Stellantis' internal dealership network. So basically this is how dealers can order cars. They get information about ordering, their sales process stuff. Everything goes through Dealer Connect. And this was a screenshot from Dealer Connect about what dealers could order. And what it shows is there's 2026 Dodge Charger models, but there's 3 different trim levels. So originally we heard that because the inventory is being so high for the 2025 and 2024 models still, that the Charger Daytona was not going to actually get any kind of ordering update for 2026. Basically, they weren't going to send out cars to dealers. If you wanted a Scat Pack or an RT, you're going to have to order it, and then it would come to the dealer because there were so many leftover cars. That looks to have changed in just recent weeks. So instead, we're seeing that the Daytona Scat Pack all-wheel drive 2-door and 4-door are going to be available right off the bat. But the very interesting thing was there was 2 additional trim packages here. We see a GT all-wheel drive 2-door as well as a 4-door, and a new Outlaw all-wheel drive 2-door and 4-door. And that kind of surprised us. Originally, we heard that the GT was supposed to be a trim package for the Daytona as a rear-wheel drive model. So this car was supposed to be the base model car, rear-wheel drive only, so basically 1 EDM at the rear, about 300 horsepower is what we were being told, and it was supposed to extend the range and basically make it a more affordable Daytona model, so a more affordable Charger EV. However, we haven't heard anything about that car recently. They kind of disappeared off the map. From what we were told, that it was still in the Chrysler system as a GT rear-wheel drive, but now all of a sudden we're seeing that the GT name is going to another car. So if you look here, I had to do some research. LB is obviously the Charger Daytona's platform name. This is the new Charger platform name, LB. And if you've been following us for a long time, we know that 29 is the 2-door, 49 is the 4-door version, okay? However, these 2 letters in the middle are trim packages. So I had to do some research with some of my dealer friends, and we found out that EL was supposed to be the 6-pack standard output car. So the GT name will go to the 6-pack standard output car. If you look at underneath here, the Outlaw, the EP is actually the trim name for the 6-pack high output car. Now what makes it even weird is, I showed you in the other video, I had a couple dealers reach out to me and say, hey, we've ordered both Outlaw 2-door and 4-door models. Okay, now all of a sudden it looks like we're getting 2-door and 4-door versions of the internal combustion cars right off the bat. Now, Dodge hasn't said nothing about this. They've been playing this stuff really, close to the chest. They haven't said anything really about the 2026 models, other than the stuff that we've seen leaked. So that was kind of a surprise. But according to dealers in the US, they can order all these cars right now. I've talked to dealers in Canada. They have not been able to see this information at all on their Dealer Connect systems. So again, US dealers can see this. Canadian dealers can't just yet. So where's the RT model? Okay. Well, if we go back through the day after I wrote that article, we look at this one. This is an article I wrote on May 5th, and it says Dodge Charger Daytona still continues to highlight slowest selling list. So every month, CarEdge.com posts the top 10 slowest selling vehicles for North America, or not just North America, but for the US. And the Dodge Charger was number 4. You can see right here, it has a 241 MDS, or market day supply. And there's approximately 7,330 of them for sale right now in inventories. And according to CarEdge, 1,366 were sold the month before. So an average price, transaction price of $54,189. So I had to do some of my own research. So I went to visor.vin, which is a great website for finding cars that are in inventory. I also went to cars.com, but visor.vin will show you right off the bat. We clicked new inventory for the Dodge Charger. We typed in the Dodge Charger already. We clicked and highlighted the 2024 and 2025 year. And then we wanted new only. So we click on new. It brings us down here to what trim model do we want? Well, right now, sitting on dealer lots across the US, there's about 3,500 RT models still left over, Daytona RTs. If we look at Daytona Scat Pack models, there's about 1,400 of them still sitting on dealers across the US. So you can kind of see that with that much inventory sitting on lots, yeah, that number on CarEdge also includes, some 2023 cars that are left over, but a huge majority of that 7,300 units are basically Daytona models. So with the Daytona not selling well, Dodge basically has introduced that, hey, we're discontinuing the RT model for 2026. There will not be an RT model. So for those looking for the cheaper Daytona model, it's not going to happen. However, now we've learned a whole bunch of information about the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack lineup because of order guides that were sent to dealers. So right now, again, RT version's gone. It's going to be dropped for 2026. At least we know it's for 2026. I can't confirm if it's going to be forever or what, but it looks like, hey, though that was the slowest selling model. People wanted the performance of the EV, so they bought the Scat Pack one. The biggest changes going into 2026, obviously there's going to be a 2-door and a 4-door model. We know that for sure. And then if you look at what else is going on, okay? We originally heard that, the Scat Pack, comes standard for 2024 and 2025 with the Stage 2 package. The very interesting thing was it didn't come, standard with it. You had to purchase the Stage package no matter what. It was mandatory. So you paid an upgrade charge to have that 670 horsepower. Now, what that that Stage 2 package did was add 80 horsepower over the standard, what they said was going to be the standard Scat Pack lineup. Now, for 2026, we originally heard that, hey, they weren't going to do stage packages, as standard options, and that the Scat Pack would go down to 590 horsepower. However, that's changed. Dodge has kind of realized that, if they degraded their Scat Pack lineup, people would just get upset. So what they're doing is they're keeping the car at 670 horsepower. There will not be any more stage badging on the cars. And it doesn't matter if you get a base model car or a plus package car. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So the 670 horsepower is standard across the lineup for 2026 as well. Okay. So again, no stage badging. That's going to be probably one of the easiest ways to tell a 2026 model over a 2025 or 4 model is that they won't have the stage badges on them anymore. Again, 4-door model is available. But the very interesting thing is there's going to be 2 packages, okay, for the Scat Pack. So right now you can get a base model car, and if you know anything about the new cars, the base model cars are really easy to tell because if you see the DRL that goes all the way across the actual front of the car here, on the base cars it doesn't have that DRL. It's basically black. So you only have the DRLs underneath the headlamp parts. So the base car doesn't include like a frunk. It doesn't have all the creature comforts like ambient lighting and stuff like that. Just like the fancy kind of like upgrades. So with that being said, that's the easiest way to tell if it's a base car or not. It's the blacked out piece across the front. Again, they'll have that model standard, and that's going to be the car that launches in 2026. There will be a plus package again that adds the frunk and the DRL and stuff, just like this car is here. This car is actually one of the Dodge marketing guys' cars. He posted it on his Instagram page, and you can see it's a 4-door Scat Pack, and it's got the plus package. But the plus package, from what we've seen on dealer order guides, will be a late availability, meaning that it will come later. But all the initial launch cars for 2026 will be standard base cars without the frunk, without the black bar, or with the black bar across the front. So, and then on top of that, the plus package gets a few changes as well. So basically, it will have an optional new satin carbon wheel. Just a small few minor touches, but again, if we look at what's going to be available, there's going to be a new stripe package, which we've seen at the Springfest event, which we can see here on this one here. You see the new stripe package, and it's really cool because if you get a glass roof, it actually goes across the glass roof and you can see it from the inside. There's also going to be a new gloss black hood option. So it's basically the hood is painted black where the R-wing is. So that will give the car kind of a different tone. This was what we seen back in 2024. Well, in 2024 as a first edition car. They kind of had a Moparized version of it. And that was one of the options. So we're going to be able to see that for 2026 as well. And then when we talk about the things that come with the car, this is where it gets kind of interesting. So Stellantis has basically offered an option for those who have bought a 2024 or 2025 car to get either a level 2 home charger for free or $600 in credits from their free to move program. That is not going to continue for 2026. Every Scat Pack model will get a standard level 1, level 2 power cord, and that's it. You'll have to have your own home charger or find somewhere to charge the car on your own, and you will not be able to opt for the $600 in credits. Now, Dodge has said that with that being said, Dodge has said, hey, we noticed that people were upset about the price. We are going to lower the price. However, they told dealers this, but they haven't told the dealers how much the cars are actually going to cost. So dealers are ordering cars, but they don't know how much they're going to cost just yet. Dodge hasn't released anything about pricing. We're hoping that we'll hear something closer to the launch of the car next week sometime. But again, we simply don't know. And that part of that has to probably do with tariffs and stuff and what's going on at the company. But again, we simply don't know. But they can confirm to dealers that the car will be cheaper. So it looks like, hey, maybe they've just said, hey, the stage 2 package, instead of paying extra, like $2,500 for it, we're going to just take in, roll that into the standard price. So it might be a little cheaper, but we don't know how much just yet. Don't know. So the Scat Pack will come back for sure. But there, like I said, there's going to be little tweaks here and there. Again, it's not much different. It's just how they're packaging the car. So again, you can see right here, there's no stage package badging here. Another thing is, another big thing is the fact that there will not be a track pack option standard on the car. So if you bought a 2024 or 2025 car, if you got the Scat Pack, you were forced to buy that track pack package. So with that being said, that could also add into the lower price of the car as well. So again, we don't know for sure. We're waiting for Dodge to get, some information out there about the car. But this is what we know through dealer guides. And you can go on to the Mopar Insiders Forum. I've posted the guides on there for sure, so you can kind of see. And basically, take and let me know what you think about the changes for 2026 so far. Are you excited about the 2026 cars? 4-door model especially? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.